host for the Gypsy Medicine Women channel, and I have a guest speaker today, Arif Hussain, and he is a mindset coach. We're going to deal with that. Yeah, he's unlocking success by mastering your mindset and aligning you with your purpose. And he's also a founder of a victory framework, and he's also a best-selling author. What's the name of your book? I couldn't find that.
Yeah, so thank you, Cynthia, for having me here. My book's name is Three Codes to Live By for Healthy Life, and the another book is Bounce Back, uh,
You,
Take Charge and Rise in Life.
you're just a book writer now, huh?
So
So yeah, I'll get those names of the books and I'll add it into the description. The description is not all set up right now. We'll do that later because of the fact I didn't know how to do it while I was doing live yet. It just goes to the default. So I'm going to question you. Hello, Kathleen. We got some guests coming in. So, uh, so we're going to talk about how our mind and our heart and our soul are all connected when it comes to our emotional self. And I'm going to actually question um, Arif because he's actually a coach and helping us with our mindset and putting all this together. So he might be put on the spot, but I got some good questions for him. Are you ready?
I am ready, and I can see Kathleen. So hi, Kathleen. Uh, so coming to this, a lot of people think that brain is the only thing which decides, which which leads the human. Okay. Uh, So it has a lot of roles. Okay, mind is very powerful. It has a lot of roles, and we will discuss maybe depending on the questions,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Uh, yeah, and but the truth is, the mind can be the general of the this human army, or each cell has its own memory, own energy. They have a life cycle. They are born and they die. Each cell has that life cycle, and putting all those cells together, there are organs which are formed, and then organs form together this human, right? Now, the real in charge, or let's say commander in chief of this army is actually heart. The science says that there are more neurons, there are more neurological signals which are sent from the heart to the brain to act upon them, rather than brain sending the signals to heart, right? So heart has a very very important role, and we are getting to know all these things. These things are clearing as the research is moving ahead.
So, Simon, we are here talking about how the mind, heart, and soul affects us and how we can either perform or not perform. And I'm actually here with Arif Hussain, and he's a mindset coach, and I'm actually going to question him. We are going to question him. He has no idea what kind of questions I have. So this is, real live footage. So
You're making my life difficult, is it?
it's going to be easy. So my first thing is pretty much what you were talking about. What does the connection between the mind, the heart, and the soul mean to you personally? And I think that you were just kind of saying that right there at the beginning before I even asked the question. See, that's what I mean. You already got this. So can you describe a moment in your life where you felt like all three, your mind and your heart and the soul, were all in harmony with each other
I feel it now, right?
right now?
I feel it now because right now, since last 5 years, I have been very clear of what I want to do throughout my life. Before this, I was not clear, and the clarity is increasing day by day. The more I interact with people, the more I know how the human. as a whole works. It's mind, heart, soul put together. And if they are aligned, what happens? And if they are not aligned, how much chaos can it bring into the body? The diseases are the result of that chaos, that confusion which the heart and brain has. So,
So
so I feel I have a purpose, clear purpose, which is very, very important for the soul, and that purpose is aligned with my mind, because my mind is now acting. Okay, this is it. This is what I want to do, and these are the pros and cons. But okay, there will be challenges, because that's what mind does. It tells you all the aspects of what is happening, depending on the experiences you had, what you have learned, what you have observed, everything. Okay, the mind's job is to think. As somebody was saying, Kathleen was saying, the mind's job is to think. Right? Exactly, that is what mind does, and it's not a bad thing. The reason why mind does it, it shows you all the sides of a thing, of some situation, all the aspects, and you have to be courageous enough to choose the one that you really want for yourself. So what happens? Usually people choose the thing which may sound better in the short run, like now, okay, and they forget what the impact and consequences will be in the long run. Okay, so that's where the term of long term gratification comes. So you were asking about me. So I feel that my mind, heart, soul, everything is aligned now, and so I feel I'm a very different person when I am like interacting with you right now. When I'm coaching somebody, when I'm doing a workshop. Okay, so I am a completely different person. But when I am doing something else which may not be aligned with the purpose, okay,
so
I
so
don't feel
when
the same.
so when you're in a line with your purpose, that's kind of like unifying the mind and the heart, the soul all together, and then you feel this whole being that you're really meant to be here on this planet Earth. That's we feel connected, right? So okay, how
Yeah, so
about when?
that
Huh?
brings a lot of clarity. That brings a lot of clarity when all three are aligned, and life becomes smooth actually.
It does. It does. When you find out what your purpose is, it actually aligns the mind and the heart and the soul together because then you get to start putting your energy into what you're really meant to do while you're here. How about the other way? When were you completely out of sync? Can you just try to keep it to like a minute or two?
So there were times, in fact, many times when I was in utter confusion. My heart wanted something. Uh, my mind was telling, okay, this is not for you. These are the challenges that you will face. These are the problems you will have. Okay, and it showed problem, 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 and uh, so I was not able to work efficiently. My productivity reduced. Uh, I could not sleep well, and the pains started coming in my body. Okay, so whatever my mind was going through, and there was a confusion. It reflects in the body as well. Okay,
So when
so
when everything's out of sync, it causes chaos or it causes pain or suffering, like we're out of balance then.
true, because it creates some sort of energy, and when it is negative, when that energy is negative, it shows in the body.
It does, it does. It always shows in the body when it's on a negative thing. Okay, I'm gonna move on to like first. I'm gonna kind of like ask you different questions to like what is the role of the mind, and then I'm gonna move on forward to the wisdom of the heart, and then we're gonna talk about nourishing the soul. And there'll be something that you can answer. Okay, so just flow with it. I got your back. Okay, you're not under pressure. Okay. Okay, the role of the mind. How do our thoughts shape or distort our emotional feelings, the mind when it comes to the emotional feelings? How does it distort it?
So uh, the mind, so we may feel that it is distorting. However, it is showing you only what it has experienced in the past. For example, we have learned that lying is a bad thing. It is wrong to lie. Okay. And then somebody has lied, and I acted according to what he said or she said. Right. Now, over a period of time, I realized, okay, I was lied to, and this person was, doing something else behind me. So, so I'm not worried about, or I'm not in pain because of what he did. I am in pain because I had this thought. Mind knew that, okay, lying is wrong. Now, lying may be wrong or right. That's another thing, right? But
Mm.
but it will trouble the mind, that person who thinks that lying is wrong, and he is in trouble because he has traveled a certain distance with that thought, with that lie. So he's not. Uh, he he thinks that he was fooled or he was betrayed, and that affects the person rather than the actual lie.
Right,
You
it
get what I
does.
mean?
So when they're lying to you and you can see that they're lying, how it affects you has to do with how you perceiving it. I mean, they
Yes.
can.
So let's say there is another person who thinks, okay, everybody lies, it's okay. Okay. So that person will just move on. He will not get affected for a very long period. He will just quickly bounce back and start something else.
He'll go out there and keep lying, and
Yeah.
then here it is. Oh
Yeah.
man, that guy, they lied to me, and it really makes me mad. It brings anger in. It brings frustration in. How we handle it? That's what happens. That's the role of the mind. Is how is it going to handle the information that's coming in, and and
Yes.
that's and that's why it's important for us to really pay close attention to what the mind is speaking to see if it's really supporting your heart, to see if it's really supporting your soul.
Yes. So think of it. Think of the mind as a storeroom. Now you keep everything in your store. Sometimes things which are not useless at all. Sometimes things that you may use in future, or you think that you may use in the future. Now, everything is there. So mind is your storeroom. The last thing that you have entered into that store, you can find that easily. And the things that were put in that storeroom years ago, that will take time to find, to be
Well,
found.
it depends because it depends on what's coming in at us, because if something comes
Yeah.
in at us that reminds us of that time, then it comes up to the front and center and says, I'm
Yes.
here.
Exactly.
Okay, so
So so mind keeps all the experiences, and it has given a meaning to all those experiences. So it doesn't just keep the when it keeps a record of something, it gives a meaning to it. For example, it can mean that, okay, lying is betrayal. Okay, so somebody who thinks that lying is betrayal, his life will be mess. Emotionally, he's gone.
it's more of a mess than they even realize.
Yes.
Mm. So you're answering my questions before I ask them. Okay, well, the next question would have been what happens when we over identify with our thoughts instead of listening to our inner wisdom.
Yeah, so that happens with the learning, uh, things that we learn. So for example, somebody who has studied pharmacy, so he will identify himself as a pharmacist, maybe for the whole life. Okay, uh, so somebody who is a nutritionist, so he or she will identify himself or herself as that person, as the occupation, and not. So it's very difficult to detach
I can't hear you.
Oh,
Oh, oop, is it my end?
I can hear you.
I might
Can
have
you hear me
lost.
now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. Uh, saying that we can over identify. Okay, that happens with the phones.
Mm,
Do you hear me?
let's see. It's going in and out, and I don't know if it's my headset, which it could
Okay, there was a
possibly be.
call. There was
Huh?
a call. There was a call, hence the problem.
Oh, I see.
So can you hear me now?
I can.
Great. So where was I?
I don't know. You want me to move on? I was talking about what
Yeah.
happens when we over identify with our thoughts instead of listening to our
Yes.
inner wisdom.
Yeah. So that happens. How much as we have associated with an identity. So usually people associate with their working identity more than anything else, because that work is a very important and integral part of a person. Uh, so they over identify with it. Okay. Usually you will find that pharmacists will have a similar kind of life. The businessmen has the businessmen have a similar kind of life. The teachers have similar kind of life. Politicians have a similar kind of life. So why that happens? Because they are not able to detach the person from the occupation. The whole life revolves around it. Uh, and at times people carry some identity in their mind that, okay, I am a person with integrity. I am a person who is sincere. I am a person who is easygoing.
So in reality, our mind can trick us or it can work with us. I mean,
Yes,
our
it
mind
can
is
feel
I mean, it's complicated. We really need to pay close attention to what's going on with that thought because our mind is identifying who we are on a soul level and it affects our spirit and our heart space by the thoughts that are going on in our mind.
true, true. So as I said, mind has a role to show you all the perspectives, and the thoughts will come in like one after the other. So if somebody who is acting on each thought, it will be difficult. So he will be jumping from one thing to another. For example, enthusiast. There is a personality called enthusiast, right? So they keep
That's not
jumping from
me.
one thing to another.
I got my
Okay.
hands in a lot of different things, yes.
Yeah. So what that so as a personality there is no problem, but I'm talking about the thoughts. So somebody who is acting on one thought after another, and mind is showing just to uh, make you aware, right? But when you act upon every thought, you are in control of the mind instead of you making use of the mind. That's a problematic situation.
Yeah, our mind is actually, our hearts is the most powerful tool we have, but our mind is the second most powerful tool, and we might as well utilize it, but we haven't really been taught how to really utilize it when it comes to our emotional self. You know, what do we do? How do we change that story around? How can we bring a new energy in instead of buying into that old one that's really not serving us for our highest good? So our mindset to me it's really important to realign our minds is what are we going to allow ourselves to believe on a heart level, on a soul level when it comes to our mind, because our mind can either take us down the wrong road or it can take us down the right road. And that I think as a mindset coach, it is about taking that story that we have going on in the background, that one that brings us under, is to let's bring that up front and forward and see how we can rescript it. How can we rewrite it? How can we look at that lifetime experience just a little bit differently so it is not taking us under, so it's not bombarding us, but like we are okay that things happened that way in the past because we learned from it and we grew from it. So we can empower ourselves instead of weakened ourselves from a past experience.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Let
gonna
me give
move
you,
on. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. So let me give you another example. Let's say there is a boss
Okay.
in the office, and there is an employee, a subordinate who comes and gives news every now and then. Okay, and then the boss starts believing everything, whichever whatever he says about others, about the market, about the office, about the organization. Now, over a period of time, if he is acting on every information that employee provides, so even if the authority is the boss on paper, but the real authority is the subordinate because he is running the show now. So the same happens with the mind. The mind is actually the subordinate which has to tell everything what is happening.
Right.
But when the real boss is not acting on it, which is your soul or the person, you yourself, if you are not acting as an authority, then the mind controls over you.
Right. And we really need to take charge of our mind instead of allowing the mind to take charge of us. And when
Yeah.
we allow our minds to take charge of us in the wrong way, then it actually does cause distress and emotional outbursts and hatred and anger and frustration and sadness and depression. So that's why it's really important for ourselves to take charge of what are we allowing to go through our mind space when it comes to our physical existence here. I'm going to move on from the mind and we're going to move into the heart. Like the heart's wisdom. The heart is our strongest tool that we have. It's stronger than the mind. I mean, our heart's going to go, "No, I'm going," even though the mind goes, "No, no, it's a bad decision," like you talked about earlier, it's like the heart goes, "But yes, yes, my heart's going pitter patter. I need to go do this." And so, but the heart's wisdom, what does it mean to live from your heart
So living from your space actually requires a lot of courage, a lot of it. Uh, and when you you know heart never lies,
The heart never
and
lies.
it makes all the right decisions.
It
There are
does.
there are no wrong decisions when they are made by the heart, but they require courage, a lot of courage. For example, somebody is a businessman. Now he has to take risk in the business. There is a risk involved, and he has to take a risk. So only somebody who has a bigger heart, courageous heart, can take that risk and start something. But somebody, if he just follow the mind, he will be in the fear. Okay, will I make profit? Will I not?
Right.
Because
Mind brings in the fear,
same
but the heart doesn't.
heart doesn't. And same happens with relationships. Same happens with your health, right?
Right. I believe
So
most relationships actually end because of the mind, not because of the heart space.
exactly.
So, how can we tell the difference between the emotions that guide us and the emotions that mislead us? I know that.
So
I know these.
yeah, that's a
I
difficult
just
one.
dug these up for you.
So when you think that there are different ways, and most of the time you know them, okay, which is the right one and which is the wrong one. The right one usually, which I feel, is that which has a long term better positive consequence, and something which gives me a short term gratification. I'm feeling happy in the moment, but may not be, may regret later. Usually those things which gives guilt, shame, those things are the wrong things. Okay, and things which may require courage, again, which may require courage, they are usually better ones.
So what would you say? What would it take? What would it take for us to really start trusting ourselves more when it comes to our heart space and then the mind? What do we need to do to really trust in that heart over the mind?
So one thing is awareness, awareness about yourself, and when you are completely aware about yourself, what you, and I'm not talking about likes and dislikes. I'm talking about knowing you inside out.
Yeah, the
Uh,
emotional self. That's what that
the
is.
emotional self, your values, like we talk about baselines in our coaching system. Then there are some of the values which may sound negative. For example, I want to become famous. Now, at times people think it as negative, okay, but that may be a driving force for you, right? So if
Right,
you keep
right.
suppressing, yeah, if you keep suppressing that, forget being famous, you will not be happy.
If you're
Okay,
just
so
focusing on the famous and not
like society has, for example, money. So we have associated very negative things about money. That
right.
money is bad. Money is the source of all evils. We keep hearing
We
these
put
things.
too much power on money.
Yeah. So and in the end, we want money. So we are in a state of confusion that we are thinking that money is bad, and we are also in need of money. We want money, and
Right.
confusion is the worst state to be in. It is the worst state.
That's really a whole nother topic. Just money. I mean, we could come in and talk about that all day and all night long, and how we have attached our emotional, all of our, a lot of emotions to money, rather it's hate, anger, love, laughter, play, passion, desire, frustration, lack of. I mean, we could put probably every emotion on to the pile of money. And to me, it's like we really need to learn how to detach ourselves that money is the problem or the answer, so we can allow it to be um, working with us, working for us instead of against us, because we have this yes, no, yes, no, yes, no going on when it comes to money. Next, we're going to move on to nourishing the soul. And my question to you about nourishing the soul. Oh, I meant to say hi to Lion's Roar, and I'm glad that we're helping you answer some of the questions and giving you some insight. And hello, Divine Timing. Thank you for your input as you're putting the input in there. Okay, so back to nourishing the soul. What is the soul's role when it comes to emotional healing? And if you don't have an answer, that's okay. I'm just like trying to bring the emotional self into the whole picture.
Yeah, so that's the most difficult one actually. And you know,
So,
uh,
what is the soul's role when it comes to our emotional healing, when it comes to the healing part?
yeah, soul. So first, the person has to actually know what he is or what she is inside. And over a period of years, that when you have explored things, when you know in depth yourself, who you are inside, and you have found your purpose, what you are going to do, and when you when so every action that you take towards your purpose, it will help your soul revive, get activate, and then over a period of time, your spiritual energy will actually be more than your physical and mental and emotional energy. Okay, and as we know, spiritual energy is the strongest of them all. So somebody who may be physically very, very, like, only bones and skin,
Well,
that person can have a,
yeah, spirit energy,
yeah,
you can feel thousands of miles away.
right, right. So reaching that is a goal, right? So even trying to reach there, uh, I think that's a wonderful thing.
I believe when we get our heart and our mind syncing itself together so it's working for us, it allows our soul, our spirit to expand further because it's clear. It's there's no debris in it. It's like it's all of a sudden because you are operating from your passionate self. You're operating from your true being. You're operating from your higher self. What it does is it clears the space, all the energy that's around you.
True, true. So I can see a difference here, like the way you are speaking. So when person speaks, that also tells a lot about him. If that person is aligned to himself or herself or is not. For example, reformers. So I am a reformer in personality. So they tend to think because of their experience. They tend to think and speak. So it takes a time. It takes some time, and right? And somebody who is inside out and there is no blockage, so they will speak very smoothly, faster,
Right.
right? And clearer. So you can actually analyze from the way a person speaks.
We can. We can. Let's see. What's the next question? How can we recognize our when our soul is calling us um, to to transform something, to revive something? To how can we tell when our soul is calling for us to change something?
The beauty about soul is that when soul needs something, and so inside, you know it. So like you can feel it. For example, you like a person, you can feel it. You
Right.
They don't say a word, you don't say a word, but you can feel that connection. Uh,
You can.
right? Same with the kind of work that you want to do or you are doing. Okay, if you feel connected, so that you know inside that it's difficult to put that feeling in words, but the answer here, what I can think is that you will know
It,
when you are really doing it, when you really are present in that space.
so the next one the next area we're gonna talk about is the emotional self. And how does unresolved emotional baggage affect our mind and our heart and our soul? It's emotional baggage from the past. We kind of touched on that at the beginning. But how does that baggage of the past, a belief that we have that's not serving us to our highest good, how does that really, and we haven't solved it, how does that affect us as a whole being?
Oh my God! So those baggages are actually difficult for a person who the heart stops taking decisions when we are controlled by the past baggages, those emotional baggages, and you know so that this only mind takes the decisions, and the mind will take decisions on the basis of fear, on the what can go wrong, and what what it can make right, and every step every step will be difficult. It will not be a smooth walk, right? So that's what I can say right now.
I think that's true. I mean, when we have emotional baggage that's there, it only, and especially when it's in the past, it only comes up when something's actually triggering us, something pokes at it. And when that happens, to me, it's really important for us to go, ooh, be aware of it. Like, ooh, where'd this come from? And then the next thing I would ask myself, when is the first time I ever felt this way? So it can take me from this moment back to that time, so now I'm back in that time when the first time I remember feeling this way, that's the moment. That's the time that we want to go back and heal from our mindset so we can bring the wholeness into our heart, start healing our heart space, and then that actually clears out the soul's energy.
Yes, in our coaching process, most of the time goes into this. So Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So the most of the time is taken in this step, okay, when we are clearing these baggages. So imagine as somebody carrying a bag of everything has
Yeah,
mass, everything has good energy.
yeah, to bring
Carrying
in
that
some humor,
energy
I like that. If you
through
can
life.
imagine that all the luggage that we're carrying from, anything that's happened to us before this moment in time that brought us any frustration or anger or out of alignment or out of balance, if we actually physically had bags, you would be holding on to too much. And now that's, I do talk about this when I go live on Your Hidden Love Story. In fact, my last show was about dropping that baggage. Now that you're aware of it, just let it go. Just let it fall. Let the energy of everything that's in it, just let it fall off and just leave that there. You don't have to continue on carrying it with you, but we feel like we do. But, so I was taking them through some um, visualizations to how to drop that weight of things that are not working for us so we can get our strength so things can actually start working for us.
Yes. Hi,
Uh,
Arpita.
Do you have any daily practices that you could maybe, I don't know if you do or not, do you have any daily practices that could help anyone bring their emotional alignment uh, into, so they're doing some self-healing? I teach a lot of that when I'm here on my show, but maybe you have some because I know you're over there in India and we're here in the United States, and maybe you have some techniques that work for you guys when it comes to aligning your emotional self.
You know, there are a few things which mind can do to the body, and there are things which body can do to the mind, right? So there is effect. So the easiest, I tell you, the easiest is to take care of the physical aspects. You should be healthy. You nourish yourself. You keep moving. Move. Our body is made to move. So keep moving. You want to lift weights. You want to do jogging, cycling, running, dancing, whatever you do. Movement is important. So that's
So
the
what?
that's the least you can do. Least you can do.
Yeah.
And then
So I like it. I like it. So one of your practices would be making sure you're moving around, whether it's dancing, bicycling, walking, exercising, just kind of some kind of movement. That's true. If we get our bodies moving around, it moves the garbage around. It shifts it around. It gives us
yes,
more room. So.
and if you were asking me personally, so I am that kind of person who would do anything. For example, I would just bicycle 30, 40 kilometers, okay,
Mhm.
or just jog for maybe 10 kilometers, right? So I am that kind of person, not sticking to just one practice.
I like it. I like it. Me too. I don't stick to one. I have a whole bunch of different things. That's why when I'm actually on my channel, I make different, what do I do? And then I'll make a little video about it. This is what I do. But I don't stick to that because I like to move around. I like to give myself variety because I don't want to get bored. I think that we need a lot of different choices, and maybe something that works for you right at this moment for what's going on might not work for the next thing that comes in. So you need to do an up level or a downgrade on the self care that we're doing to take care to put ourselves our emotions back into alignment. The next thing is how can we use emotions as messages instead of letting them control us, because I believe that we have all been misled and misguided from our emotional self, and we're allowing our emotional self to lead us and guide us. But how can we uh, um, allow those emotions to be messengers that not necessarily are guides?
Okay, so people tend to fight their emotions. For example, they are feeling angry, but they want to suppress their anger and they want to look good. Okay, so over a period of years, I've realized, found, and I've learned from my mentors also that that's the worst thing you can do to your. those emotions to, or not embracing those emotions. Okay, so the
because they build
best
up.
thing, yeah, it will build up, of course. So it's like you're pressing a spring, and over a period of time you will get tired and it will bounce back, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and it will be the worst situation. So better is, if you have to communicate. If there is an authority that you are communicating to, you can be more, careful with your words so that
right.
it doesn't backfire. But you have to convey. You have to, you know take that energy out of your body, whatever it is,
So like, so like if
even
I
if it
was
is
in a
loud.
relation, so like if I was in a relationship and all of a sudden I just started feeling angry and upset, then I would want to make sure I had a partner. I would tell my partner, look, I'm going through some emotional outburst right now. Can you just give me a little bit of space right now so I can let this out?
Yes.
And so I'm not
And
pushing it
if that
down.
partner is the reason, if that partner
Huh?
is the reason, if that partner is the reason, tell them you are the reason.
The thing is, then you're blaming that partner. You want to me, it's like I want to make sure I'm not blaming anybody else for the way I feel. Maybe that partner triggered
Yeah.
us.
So it's not blaming, it's making them known so that they don't do it again.
Yeah,
There has to be a boundary also,
but
a
but
clear
but
boundary.
even but even so, because I want to make sure that I'm in charge of my emotional self. So if I tell them, hey, that bothered me, please don't do it again, and say now somebody else comes around and does that. Now I didn't tell them and they've triggered the same thing. That's why I think it's really important for us to really be aware of that emotional self, allow ourselves to go through it, feel it, see how it's affecting us. When that emotions comes up, where are you feeling it? Are you feel it in your heart? You feel it in your gut? You feel it in your back? You feel it in your stomach? Where are you feeling it? So we can actually truly go through the healing. If I'm asking you, hey, please don't do that again because that really triggered me, that means I'm not taking full responsibility for myself, because I would like to take full responsibility myself and say, if it wasn't you and somebody else came and did the same thing, that I'm no longer reacting and responding the same way. So that's why I don't want to point my finger. Not they're all they're doing is hitting the wound that we haven't taken care of. And to me, when the wound is being hit, I'm going, ooh, that hurt. Let's see, I have a sensitive spot in that area, and I want to go ahead and figure out what this is. And yes, what you said triggered it, but let me see what I need to do to make sure that if that conversation ever comes up again, whether it's you or someone else, that I'm okay with that. I'm not
But
responding to it.
that's
I'm not
the,
being affected by
yeah.
it.
So that is the ideal situation that we are talking about. Ideally, it should be the way. But for majority of the people, reaching that state is a long journey. But what they can do in the beginning is they just communicate in whatever they know it. If they know it,
Right.
the best way is good. But
But if we're tr-
it has to
but if
come out.
but if
It has
we're
to come out.
truly on a self-love journey, sure, at the first is like, I want to communicate it. That's okay. But again, in the long run, I want to take care of it within me.
So there, if I am suppressing, it's again worse. It is not helping the other person also. For example, somebody is in a relationship. There is a couple, and the person who is hurt, he or she is thinking, okay, that I have to resolve it in me, only inside me. The other person may not even know, okay, what he has done. Okay, and
I'm not
you
saying
know,
that it's not okay to speak it. I'm just saying that
yeah,
in the long run, I want to be fully responsible for my own emotional self.
yes, yes, that's the goal.
All right. Uh, Integration and alignment is the next topic. What are some signs that we are living in alignment with our mind, heart, and soul? And I know that you told us really at the very beginning what some of that is, but since we're getting towards the end, maybe you can re speak that. What are some signs that we are living in alignment with our mind, heart, and soul.
What is that you feel calm most of the time? Okay, there might be some emotions here and there. That's okay, but most of the time you will be calm. You will not have any sensations here and there which go unnoticed. You don't feel vibrations now and then, like the negative ones. Uh, you don't feel pains, okay, here and there. Okay, most of the times people feel pain. There is no harm in the body. They are just emotional pains stuck in some part of the body. These may sound funny at times, but we are learning. We are still
Right.
learning.
We are
Yeah,
learning.
yeah. So uh, all in all, it feels very smooth. For example, what I feel in myself when I'm coaching a person, when I'm being with that person, I'm completely different. My uh, state completely changes. My body language, my words. I don't know where they come from. At times I find, okay, that was me. It had happened. It had happened. It has happened
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
when
times.
you're in alignment, though.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
happens.
Words just come automatically. You don't have to think, and they are
That's
right.
correct.
They are right.
um, do you have any like personal testimonies or wisdoms, like that you would like to share a story with how emotional healing has helped bring you into a better balance into your life? And I know you probably talked about it a little bit up front, but we're just kind of wrapping it up towards the end.
So so there are certain areas in my life which, like for example, I have realized, okay, this is my purpose. Okay, coaching, training, contributing to people's lives, all writing, all that is very very clear. But still, there is some part of my life which is not that clear. The you know the journey to clarity is still going on. Now, I am way better in that area, but and I'm talking about relationship, to be very very clear, specific. So in that area, I was in very bad shape earlier, but now uh, I'm much better. And when you see that everything is aligned, your soul, heart, mind, everything is aligned. You have clarity, you have awareness. You will find that you feel the calmness and the smoothness in all the areas of life, not just one. Okay, not just one. So it may start from one area, but it will spill over to other areas also. Whether your relationship, your finances, your health, everything will fall in place.
It's really nice when we actually can do that because we become connected. When we come connected, we're able to speak clearly. We're able to communicate more clearly, and it's not even really a thought. It just like all of a sudden comes out, because when we're in alignment and balance within ourselves, that we can communicate so clearly to that one that we love so much, or to the boss, or to some stranger on the street, that all of a sudden we're in alignment because we're at peace within. We're no longer struggling. And where we can actually even be around chaos and confusion going around us, which I've been in the last 2 or 3 days, is like I'm watching these people that are out of alignment, and I'm it's not touching me. And it's so really neat when you're able to not allow the chaos that's happening right there in front of you actually to touch your soul.
Yeah, and you can take care of that corner where you are in, at least,
Yes.
or you can start from there and expand.
So then what advice would you give someone if they were feeling like emotionally fragmented or emotionally lost, what would you, where would you, the beginning point be? Where, it's like somebody's coming to you and saying, you know what, I'm just scattered. I know I want to do this, but I just feeling lost, and it just don't, all my pieces are all over. What would you do when somebody would approach you in something like that? What would be like
Yeah,
this first step?
I would just say that, okay, that's the beginning. If you feel lost, that's the beginning point. Now you can just move up from here. Yeah. So the first thing is awareness, getting clarity uh, of what you want to do, and then actually do. So I have also understood these one thing that people may um people may know or realize their problems only to the uh, proportionate to their understanding. Okay, I don't know. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, so whatever level of understanding they have, they can analyze their problems and they can find their solutions. For going back to the example of lying, somebody thinks that lying is wrong, and they have identified that the other person has lied. Okay, so they will connect wrong to that person. Okay, this person is wrong, right? So they have given a meaning, and then they move on. Okay, this person is wrong, he lies. Now, you know that might be the end of their relationship. Okay, or it can be the beginning, that the person can go further and actually identify and find that that person lies habitually, or it was just one off thing or a mistake.
Right.
Okay, right. So one has the same thing, one has to do with himself or herself. Okay, so I first be aware and then get clarity. And at times intellectually we know, but there is a lot of difference between knowing things intellectually and actually doing them.
No, I think that's good advice when we're out, when we're feeling fragmented or lost. That, the first step is awareness that we're in that. So it's a, now that you know that you're aware, and then the next step is to get clarity of it. Like to start clearing out the debris that's in our way in the first place.
Yeah, so when the mind, heart, soul, they are both, they are all aligned and they have clarity, the action will come automatically. The action will
So
come automatically.
if
So
someone
when
were,
we don't
if
have,
I didn't mean to interrupt
yeah,
you.
yeah, so when we don't have clarity, we are in fear. Okay, because we don't see what is going to come as a
Right,
consequence.
right.
Right.
So, for a takeaway for the audience, what would be one practice somebody can do today to begin realigning their mind, heart, and soul, especially when it comes to the emotional self? What's one thing that you would suggest as a coach?
So usually as coaches, we don't suggest anything. The advices are never worked upon. Like, for example, we have been advised so much from the society all along that people kind of stop. They have those antennas. Okay, here comes the advice. Don't do it. Don't take it.
Don't give the
Right?
advice.
So we are all sort of we unconsciously or consciously we just block the advices. So important thing is that you find uh, what you are good at, what you usually when we like something, we are good at those things. For example, somebody is a, let's say, we play a lot of cricket here in India. You know, maybe more than you play what that baseball, right? So people who uh, love playing cricket, they are actually good players. They can play well. And people who are just observers, they may not do that same. So you have to identify what you like and that you can do really well, and keep doing those things. Okay.
Right.
There might be things that you might be doing right now, which maybe because of your needs, uh, maybe your job that you don't like, maybe uh, maybe some friends, some relationship that you don't like, right? It's okay till the time you find things that interest you. Um, so when you have found those things that interest you, try to keep them, because those things actually activate uh, your heart and soul. They keep those things activated. Does it
I
make
love
sense?
it. I love it because that's what I probably would tell someone is, find what it is that you love. Find something that you love to do, something that you can just get lost in time doing. Let's hone into that. There's got to be something so we can start realigning, refocusing ourselves from the chaos world, but we can pull ourselves back in and say, "Hey, I really like to do this," rather it's dueling or painting or writing or cooking, whatever it is, or crocheting, whatever it is that you really like to do, where you can really just you're not really focused on the time anymore. You're just doing something that you like. And we really have to retrain ourselves as souls to go ahead and focus on doing this every day, a little bit of something you like. At first, when I started my YouTube channel, it was like I just do a little bit at a time, but now it's like it's my life. But at first, I'd just invest 5 or 10 minutes, and then 5 or 10 minutes went into 15 or 20 minutes because it's something I liked, and then the 15, 20 minutes turned into hours. So that would be what I would ask is be putting doing something that you like. Let's find out what that is. Let's discover that part so you can, when something gets out of alignment, you can revert to what you can get lost doing without thinking.
Yes, yes. And the best part is the energy will, you know, the energy that comes from these activities will influence the other areas of your life as well. It will
Yeah.
spill over.
So I do believe that self-love plays a really important role in us unifying our mind, heart, and soul together. And we really need to do the self-love work, whatever that is. And Lions Roar, I know what you're asking there, and I really would love to talk to you about that. I don't know if I really have time right now because we have another episode to do over there on Instagram of the same kind of thing. But do please come back in and ask that question because I can answer that question for you, and I'm not quite sure if Arif is familiar with that or not. So but it is even what we're talking about, Lions Roar, what we're talking about here on this channel is if we can pull our energy back into self instead of into the connection to what's not working for us. We need to really pull our energy back into self to hone in to actually help you. I understand the question deeply, but I really don't have time to go into depth to the question you're asking. I would love to, but again, we have somewhere else to be. Okay, perfect. But continue on coming into my live shows, and I will be happy to answer that question on a different live. Okay. All right. Or if we're at about almost at an hour, and I know we got somewhere else to be, and
Yes.
so I want to thank you for being here, and you guys, if you guys are interested in any coaching that Arif Hussain does, I will add that into the description box a little bit later. My description box is not correct at this moment of time, but I will add it in. I'll add in how to contact him if you're interested in it for any coaching. And you guys have a good night too. I appreciate you. And right now we're going to go over there on Instagram. My Instagram channel is Flippin' Fields, and he's going to join me. Is that what we're doing next, or did you have something else? Did you say you had to do?
Yeah, I have a session right away, like at 12. It's 12 here. So maybe
Oh
after that
yeah,
we can connect.
That was the plan, was for us to do that at 12. So I guess we're going to
Yeah, yeah,
reschedule.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, it was nice uh, having you here, and until next time.
Yes, Cynthia,
Yeah.
and thank
Yeah.
you again for having me here, and thank you everyone for being there as a wonderful audience, asking questions, putting their thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So if we're not going to meet over on Instagram because you have something else to do, is that correct?
Yes, there is a session at 12. I think uh,
I think that's the time
it
we
got moved.
scheduled it for you on Instagram. So that means we got to make that a different time.
Yeah, we can do that at a different time, or maybe tomorrow, same time.
Um, yeah, we could do that. Then I'm just going to stay on and help. If Lion Roar stayed here, I'm going to help them with that question here. And then you
Yes,
can go
yes.
ahead and drop off because I thought we were doing a back to back tonight. And it's all good.
All right, all right. Take
All
care.
right. And so we
Thank
can
you.
we can work on that issue we were having.
Bye bye.
All right. All right. Till next time. Thank you. You know how to drop out? All right. So, Lion's Roar, did you stay here? Hello, Dollface. Happy to see you here. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Yeah, we just got done with a live. I had a guest speaker, Arif Hussain, and he's a mindset coach about helping unlock our success and mastering your mindset to align with your purpose. And so you're late, but you'll watch the replay. That's okay. And Lions Roar was asking something with twin flames, which I wasn't talking about that on the show, but I could actually answer that question if they came back in. But we can talk about it on another show too. So. Yeah, we might as well pull some cards here. End it off with some cards here. Yeah, might as well. You know me, I love reading the cards. I thought we were going to do a back to back. We were going to end here and go over to Instagram, but I guess he had another meeting, so he booked two meetings. So let's see what the cards had to say here for the collective here today. Is this deck of cards? Okay, you ready? You ready? Let's see. Let's see. We'll just do a little bit. Let's see what the cards have to say for the collective that's here today, just to maybe it'll tie into the show purpose. This is a divine masculine energy. You love Minnie Mouse? Yeah, well, we got Minnie Mouse here. Ooh, hi, you know what Mickey is? Yeah, well, Mickey's always right around the corner. Mickey, Mickey, Mickey. Mickey, oh, here I am. They were twin flames and now they're together for life. Ooh. You must say my questions were so good. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you so much. So the card that came out, this would be the divine masculine energy. That's the temperance where we're taking the lower vibrational energy, right? And what we're doing is when that lower emotion comes in, that fear, doubt, insecurity, what we're doing is we're putting some love on it. We're putting some play in it. We're putting some happiness in it. We're putting some peace in it. We're trying to calm it down. So that's the temperance. So we're kind of blending, so the old emotions, the lower emotions are no longer running the show, that we can actually find a balance. Divine counterparts, that's right. Coming into alignment. I'm telling you, the cards are coming up like the alignment should be happening, union should be happening. I don't know what's going on with my counterpart. So I'm telling you, I gave up on them, but I don't know if they gave up on me. Who knows? But all right, anyhow, we're gonna go on. Let's see what else the cards have to say. And please, cards, keep it in contact to the Today Show. Well, of course, my show always has to do with the emotional stuff. Of course, that's gonna be in alignment. So don't you worry about it. There's a lot of cards coming out. Let's see what else cards have to say for you guys at this moment of time. It is about balancing ourselves. It's an equal give and it's an equal receive. Let's make it this equal. Ay, those both cards about balancing the emotional self, balancing how much you're giving to how much you're receiving, balancing, yeah, so we can embrace the lion within, so we can find our strength, so we can have our hearts on the outside without it getting damaged, so we can stay calm on the inside, so we can be at peace, so we can be as strong as a lion, so we can have the courage and to make a forward movement. So and we can trust in divine timing whenever that time is going to be for the sun to come out. The happiest card in the deck. This is from love, laughter, play, joy, happiness, peace, harmony, passion, desire. This is the everything. Let your light shine. You love this cheerful side, boy. Me too, me too. That was a little bit too serious. I know, but you just have to go with the flow. I mean, but we wanted, I was just bringing somebody else in and seeing how that flow goes, and we're supporting, they're supporting my channel, I'm supporting their channel, just for a moment in time. We actually met 4 or 5 years ago. I was taking a mastermind course, and we both took the same course, and we both learned how to speak and do masterminds and write books. Yeah, they've written 2 books. I've written one. I have another one, but I don't want to say too much because I want to make sure I get it done. But I have some energy that some blockage. I got some writer blocks. Do you know what a writer's block is? I don't know. Well, I know what it is. So anything else cards had to say when it's in alignment with today's show? We want to know. We want to know. Woo! There he comes. Ooh, there comes the divine masculine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got the flowers. He's written this letter. I don't even know how many times he wrote that letter. You know how many times he wrote that letter? And he went to go send, and then he erase. And he went to do it again. He goes, I just need to let my divine feminine know. Oh no, no, no. I mean, he's done it so many times, but he wants to give the divine feminine some flowers. He wants to take her out on a date. Maybe he wants to take her to the beach. Yeah, there's the Mustang in the back. See, hey, prancing around, dancing around. Maybe he wants to take her out on a dance. Woo, 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 woo. Let's party. Let's celebrate. All right, all right. That's my DM. No, no, don't tell nobody that. My DM is doing another life, not with me. Doing another life. Don't have nothing to do with me. In fact, my DM can talk to anybody out there, and have no fear. But when it comes to me, oh my goodness, they got so much fear they hardly even know what to say to me. I go, what is that all about? Come on, baby. Whoever you are, I don't know who it is. Well, I think I know, but all right. So, but I had to let go of that story. I don't want to be in the middle of any other parties going on. Yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to let it go, and I had to shed some tears too. My twin chose somebody else over me. And it's like, just let that go. Whatever they gotta do, they gotta do, and it don't have nothing to do with me. It's not because of me. It's because they got something else that they gotta do. Yeah, they gotta live their life. They gotta live their journey. They gotta, fulfill some parts of their I know. Ooh, the word just slipped right out of there. They have to fulfill part of their life purpose, and it had nothing to do with me, and I couldn't feel that part anyhow. No, I didn't, because I'm too happy. All right, ooh, what else we got going on here? Ooh, we got Richu in the house too. All right. Oh, that divine masculine. He's actually single now. Whoa, he's single. Whoa, let's hope so. Yeah, he's actually tapped in and tuned in and listening to these divine messages. The ravens speaking, the bats are speaking, the owls are speaking, the dragonflies speaking. He's like, wow, check out all of these messages. They're coming straight from divine. I don't even gotta be in my head about it because Divine has a lot to say. Divine speaks clearly too. Divine speaks the truth. What else we got going on here? Ooh, what do we need to know? Well, that divine masculine here. Ooh, he's thinking about giving an offer. This is a solid offer. It's touchable. It's tangible. It's a bright offer. Look at how bright it is back there. That's as bright as the sun. It's happiness, it's joy, it's passion, it's desire. But that's the only card I know that says that's a wedding ring. Oh, they want to get married? Who said I wanted to get married? Maybe I don't want to get married anymore. Maybe I want to do it one time. I don't know. This is nobody's reading. This is just a reading for a collective, girlfriend. The ending the show is that divine masculine has been watching the divine feminine work and work and work, and she's not watching him now. She's got her back towards him. She has a brand new beginning, a brand new start, because she is totally trusting in divine. Yeah, it looks like if she takes that next step where she leans a little bit harder, that branch will fall and she'll break and she'll fall down in here. But she has complete trust in divine. Yeah, brand new beginning, a brand new start. Just trusting in the path that divine's leading you. It's a beautiful path. It's a beautiful journey. Yeah, it is. All right, what else we got? What else we got? That divine masculine has been doing some healing work. He's been going in and healing that child within. Find, when you were younger, he said like he felt loyal and felt like what the dog was so loyal, but he's trying to bring that energy up into his present moment, to his adulthood, so he can feel that energy again because he's gone through a lot. Yeah, he has gone through a lot, so he has to bring in that feeling peace and feeling that loyalty really does exist. Mhm. And he's out there weighing things out again. I'm telling you, that's what the reading started with. Yvonne Baskin trying to weigh everything out. What are we weighing out when it comes to connection to this show? We're weighing out our emotional self so we can find a balance within, so we can be operating from our highest vibrational self. And it does take us going through this rebirth, ending the way things used to be, so we can truly come out and love ourselves so, so, so much. This card has more love in it than any other card. But when we start doing this self healing work, that we really truly come out and love ourselves so much so we can feel this wholeness, so we can feel this completeness. That's what I have for you guys today. And in the show, and I just wanted to come on in. And I at least finished the show with a reading. I think that was perfect. Woo, 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 woo. So you guys, I hope you learned a lot from today's show. I thought it was very I mean, pulled up the questions, got him. He had no idea what I was going to ask him. So I was putting him on the spot. He's a coach. And I go, well, if you're a coach, then you have no problem answering these questions. I think I put him on the spot though. What do you think? I didn't mean to though. Yeah, I think he did quite fine. Anyhow, he has been coaching for 4 or 5 years and learning quite a bit. And he has he actually he has two books, and one of them, maybe both of them, are best-selling authors. So yeah, and yes, 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 and all that. So yeah, there's the book. Yeah, he wrote a book. I love how I just cut into whatever it talks about. He wrote a book about his own passion, his own desire, and how he woke up. All right, you guys, I love you so very much. And I guess I'm going to go live tomorrow on Instagram, kind of the same kind of thing, though. Um, and I don't know if I have, I don't know if I've done an Instagram live ever before. And then not only doing the live, I have to learn how to bring him on in. So all right, that's what we're doing. He's holding my hand, I'm holding his hand, kind of in a weird roundabout way. He's all the way in India, and I'm all the way in the United States, so it's kind of long distance holding hands. But it is for our own growth in coaching. I'm so happy to be here for you guys each and every time. All right, till next time, bye bye, butterflies. Later. Thank you all for coming into the show and hanging out and listening to everything that was said. It really means a lot to me. And if you leave a comment underneath when I'm all done here, I would greatly appreciate that. I mean, that just really makes my heart go pitter patter, pitter patter. It really, lights up my day. Okay. All right. You know, I'll see you later. Bye bye.